everyone. This is Tess. Welcome to Breakers Breakdown, where we breakers break things down. Today, we have a very special guest joining us, one of our own from journalism. Please welcome, drumroll, Elaina Seybold.
Hi, I'm super excited to be here. I am a ninth grader who plays basketball at Laguna Beach High School, and I have had a passion this year for journalism.
Yeah, and now she's on our team, Brush and Palette. It's actually both of our first years on journalism, though, so we're newbies. But I'm so happy that you're on our podcast. This is my second. Yay! This is my second podcast, so, we're still learning everything, but I'm so happy that you're going to be our guinea pig today. And yeah, so today on the agenda, we are going to be talking about Elaina's piece called Breaking Down Harmful Societal Norms. And you can find this on lbhsnews.com under the opinion section, or you could always go to our staff page and look up Elaina, and you will find it under all of her amazing articles. If you have not read this article yet, I strongly advise you to hit pause, go to our site, read it, and then come back, because we will be hitting some topics that Elaina talks about throughout her opinions piece. Elaina, I will be asking you some questions, so I hope you're excited for that. I will.
Sure.
Yes. So I'm going to start with, just tell me about what inspired you to write this piece, because I know that, body shaming and body positivity aren't really talked about a lot. So just.
Yeah, it might be just kind of answered that. I think it isn't talked about enough. It's a really important topic to discuss because people face problems with it every single day. And maybe that's what inspired me too, because it has really big effect on our mental health, especially during the times of like COVID, where kind of by yourself, so you're left to whatever's in your brain, maybe looking at social media a little bit more often.
I totally get what you're saying. I like what you said about COVID, because my screen time has probably tripled. So it totally makes sense, especially now, we are more vulnerable. Swiping on social media, being on Instagram, you're seeing all of these pictures and then people hanging out, and yeah, no, it gets really heavy sometimes. So I think that your timing for this article was perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, are you ready for some questions? I'm gonna just keep firing away. So, in your article, I'm just gonna talk about quotes that I really liked. I think this was in the beginning of your article, and you said that this was just about how students should be acting and how they should be tackling this topic of, body positivity. And you said, for peers, this means not commenting on anyone else's body. It's none of your business. So I think that is so relevant right now, because, people have different bodies. Like on social media, there's one perfect body and everyone's aspiring to, be that. And it's unrealistic. So my question is, do you have any ideas on how we as a community can start teaching this to people and educating people on why this is harmful?
So I think, yeah, like what you said, social media has a really big factor in it. People hold that as like a frame of reference for perfection or whatever, but when you look around, it's really not the case. No one is going to ever look like that Instagram perfect picture with the perfect angle and the lighting and the editing. And it's kind of a mental thing where you just have to accept it.
Okay, so we're going to talk about social media. And in your article, you say that, quote, "It is really unfortunate that as social media gains even more power, the problem only gets worse." So what do you mean by this?
I think during quarantine, we might be looking at our phones a little bit more. We might be using it as a platform to talk to our friends because we're not really given opportunities to do so. Obviously, we're staying safe. And as great as a solution for communication and like interacting with people it is, social media tends to be only like the perfect points of everyone's life. So you might take a look at someone's social media profile and be like, oh my God, they're so much better than me. But in reality, they don't look like that all the time. And they probably don't look like that in real life. It's a mental thing. And I think the only way to really solve that problem is to do it for yourself and to accept that social media is not reality.
I completely agree. I mean, and like, how many editing apps are there? I swear there's like a million.
I know. And I get ads for them, and I always have to click away because it's not a healthy habit.
Yeah. And like, also for, younger girls, the media is really bad for youth because it's normalizing it and it's continuing this pattern that's never ending. And like, how do you win against this system where they're just throwing all these images in your face? Like,
Mm-hmm. And especially even like platforms like Instagram, TikTok, there's so much more advertising, and advertising has like models. That's a whole nother issue, but it's impacting our lives because it's just younger and younger kids are starting to feed into it. And you'll hear millennials being like, oh my God, kids look so grown up nowadays. And that's just because that's what they think they're supposed to look like. Kids aren't trying not to look like kids, but people are starting to forget that. And I think it's really unfortunate.
yeah, yeah, I know. And I really am concerned, like, just for how everything plays out because, I still get sucked in to
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I just think that, like, especially in a beach town where
Mm-hmm.
everyone's wearing bikinis and you kind of have to look good, there's a lot of pressure to be skinny
Mm-hmm.
and we see eating disorders. Everyone has a different body
Mm-hmm.
and you want to have goals to be healthy and you need to, treat your body right because your body is a temple.
And I think also, if you're not at your healthiest point, that's not something to be so ashamed of. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to feel good inside too. And also it's not just for girls too.
yeah, it's not for girls. I think it's really a problem that everyone faces. For boys, the expectations might be different, not necessarily be skinny, but be muscular, be tall. And obviously, that's just not going to be the case for everyone. We're not all built to look the same.
With your article, you talked about how like this was your call to action and you said it's time to start feeling comfortable in our own skin and encourage others to do the same. So, like, how do you think that we can move forward as either a school, as individuals, and make sure that we're promoting self-love and not body shaming?
The biggest thing that we can do is just social media, obviously, as we talked about, just like putting your phone down once in a while and going and feeling happy mentally, because obviously, like we were talking about, being skinny isn't necessarily being happy. Finding things that make you actually feel happy, that also may be active and encouraging you to be healthy. Eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, because that's your body telling you how much food it needs.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is totally true. And anyone is listening to this and you are struggling with an eating disorder or you don't feel happy in your own body, we have counselors at our school that you can talk to, parents, a trusted friend. It's always easier when you can talk to people and get this weight off of your shoulders. The biggest takeaway is that, like, it's not you, it's the system and it's the society that we live in and the pressure that we face every day as women, as men, as a human race. Like, there are a lot of problems in our system, but this is a really big one. And in Elaina's article, yeah, we need to learn how to be comfortable in our own skin. And that comes from, listening to your body, maybe going off of Instagram for a little bit. Like, I use the timer. I don't know. Have you seen that, Elaina, where like you can
Oh, yeah.
control?
I think there are a lot of programs like that, and I think those are really good to just take a step back.
Yeah, yeah. Do what makes you happy and try to distance yourself from social media. I think that that's a really good step to take if you're trying to, figure everything out. But, it also comes in like everyday actions. For peers, like this means not commenting on anyone else's body.
I think everyone has a bit of a struggle with it. The more you talk about it and the more discussions that is brought up about this problem takes a bit of weight off everyone's shoulders.
Amen. Amen. I'm clapping. That was awesome. Well, I think that's a wrap.
Right.
Do you have anything else to say about your article? Anything that you want to talk about? I mean, I feel like we kind of covered.
Kind of covered it, yeah.
Okay, well, cool. Elaina, thank you so much for, coming on our podcast, Breakers Breakdown.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we broke it down.
I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did too. Thank you everyone for joining us for Breakers Breakdown. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you guys can tune in soon to hear some of our up and coming podcasts. So yeah, without further ado, bye everyone. Thank you so much.